Hey guys, Jeff here from Films at Home. I got another 4K review to do for you all. So as you may know, the Christopher Nolan collection just came out in 4K last week. That included Interstellar, Inception, The Prestige, as well as the three Dark Knight trilogy movies and Dunkirk. So I got the Dark Knight trilogy, and I want to start by checking out the 4K on the Dark Knight. Personally, I think this is my favorite of the three. I think it's one of the best movies ever made, hands down, regardless if it's a superhero movie or not. So I'm pretty excited to check this out in 4K, let you guys know how the IMAX scenes look, how the up conversion to 4K looks, and let you know if this is really worth an upgrade or not. So a little background here on this version before I dive into the review. This is the 4K Ultra HD, comes with the Blu-ray as well, and the digital copy. Rumor is that the digital copy from Warner Brothers does redeem in 4K, so if you buy this movie or if you want to give away the 4K digital copy to a friend, you will be able to redeem it and watch this in 4K off the digital copy, which is very cool and something that a lot of these studios are really lacking in. If you're going to put a 4K version out there, make sure your digital copy redeems in 4K. If it doesn't, it's kind of a waste to even throw it in there. As for the special features, they're all on the Blu-ray disc. There aren't any 4K special features. But there's a great talk about the IMAX scenes in here. It's called the Blu-ray movie with focus points, and basically it's Christopher Nolan and his creative team talk about the IMAX sequences and how those worked, the stunts, how they put together some of the Batmobile and the costume, and it gives a really in-depth look at the movie, which is really nice. There's also some special features that have been pulled over from the previous Blu-ray, stuff about the Batman tech, Batman unmasked about his psychology, and then a few episodes of Gotham Tonight, which is the news show. These are kind of like mocked up episodes that don't appear in the movie, but you do see clips and sequences, like when the Joker kills the fake Batman, or when they're chasing Bruce Wayne around the city. You have the Gotham Tonight newscast playing in the background, so they give you a few episodes of that. Just kind of a fun thing to throw in there. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire this up real quick on my 4K setup here, give it a few watches. Obviously, I know the movie's great, so I'm just going to be checking out the IMAX sequences, be comparing this to the Blu-ray very quickly, and I want to check out the original theatrical audio. It's one of the main points they put on the back of the case, that it has a 4K version with the original audio, so they haven't upgraded to a Dolby Atmos. They have the original 5.1. From the theatrical release, which is kind of cool. It keeps it the same experience that Christopher Nolan wanted when he released this to theaters. All right, guys. So I just got finished reviewing this and comparing it to the Blu-ray, and there's a few points that I need to make. But honestly, this is probably the single best 4K release that I have seen to date. The first major thing that stuck out to me were the IMAX sequences. The IMAX sequences in this movie in the 4K up conversion are absolutely incredible. Some of the best that I've ever seen on the disc. Like I said, Christopher Nolan did overlook this 4K restoration himself. So obviously this has been, taken good care of. He hasn't messed with it at all, and he's made it about as perfect as this could look. The rest of the sequences that are shot in the 2.4 aspect ratio, so that's with the black bars on top and bottom, those are solid. They're not as noticeable an improvement over the Blu-ray, but they're obviously, the HDR gives it quite an uptick, and the resolution definitely helps a little bit, especially in some sequences that were a little grainy or dark. You'll notice on the 4K that they've been greatly improved. As for the audio, it's honestly as good as ever. Of course, an Atmos track would have been cool, but if the director says, hey, we don't need any more than a 5.1, and that's what I put out there in the theaters, and that's what I want to stick with, then you typically listen to the guy who made the movie. And I can tell you, I've got my 7 speakers here, a couple tall ones, and it's it sounds as good as anything I have. It still sounds as great as the Blu-ray, and things have obviously been preserved and transferred over here very, very well. Sometimes with 4K, you'll notice that, especially if there's an up conversion, that it can almost get a little too grainy because the resolution is so high that 2K up converted to 4K will almost look worse than a typical Blu-ray does. And thankfully, because they've digitally restored these completely in 4K, you don't run into any issues with that. but he also didn't completely wipe the grain from this with DNR. The film still looks really great. They didn't do anything to smooth it out. It obviously has a very digital feel. It was filmed on a lot of IMAX cameras and digital cameras instead of film, but you know, it wasn't smoothed out, and the colors weren't filtered, nothing was changed. I mean, it's the same experience, just improved. So overall, I definitely recommend this. I think if you can get the whole series, they'll be just as good. I'll be checking those out in a few days, but this is really the crown jewel right here of the three, and it's definitely worth the money. If you don't have these movies already, it's a no-brainer to go get the 4K, and I have the Blu-ray set. It's a nice set. I'll keep it. It's got a lot of special features and things like that in it, but these are so good. The 4K IMAX sequences are so incredible. It's worth the $20 alone, and if these come down in price at all, maybe after the holidays, it's going to be an incredible deal if you can grab these and then Interstellar and Inception and the Prestige as well and get the package for, you know, like $50, $60. It would be a steal to get to watch some of these in 4K. Like I said, guys, if you've adopted the 4K format and you have the TV and you have the capabilities, this is an absolute must-have movie in your 4K collection. It is the best transfer I've seen. It has the best IMAX sequences that I've seen on any release, and I highly, highly recommend it. It is an incredible, incredible testament to the format. Christopher Nolan did a great job restoring this, and Warner Brothers did an excellent job releasing this, as well as all of his other films, which are really some of the ones that, if I was going to pick anything to watch in 4K, it'd probably be mostly Christopher Nolan films. They all look excellent. Dunkirk looked excellent. If you've seen my review of Dunkirk, you can click right here and watch that. That was an excellent 4K restoration, and you know, a 4K transfer, sorry, not restoration, but everything the guy touches is gold from a visual standpoint, and getting these in 4K is so much fun to watch. So guys, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've picked these up or if you have a hard time finding them. I've heard some people can't find them in stores, so hopefully there'll be some more stock coming out soon. But definitely recommend it. This is a full 5 out of 5 for me. I do think you should pick this up. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to me. We're looking to get 500 subscribers soon. We're at about 450 as it stands today, so let's make the push for 500. Share this video with your friends. Go follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching. This was the Dark Knight 4K review.